then let's go to what it really is. Then when we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys, and understanding that our melanin is so power and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear and
just genetic
that
annihilation.
deficiency of when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul. That we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less, and where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight,
in order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains. They're in these rough, torrential environments. So they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this I don't want to say warrior, but they built up such this conquering barbaric mentality. Damn, remember what Ice Cube said? Oh yeah.
Hey, Shalaka, yeah, Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect who firmly believe on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, I came across this article. Nick Cannon dropped by Viacom. His show, Wildin' Out. It's been on the air since like 2005, about 15 years in running. However, the statement that he just made, here it is. Viacom had dropped him. Now Nick Cannon knows he's an Israelite. You see he's wearing the mitri, what you may know as a turban. He knows he's an Israelite. He speaks of the truth from time to time. Quick on the article, it says Nick Cannon has been dropped by Viacom CBS after he made anti-Semitic comments on his podcast. When you check out the CBS, it's the all-seeing eye, right? So they're ran by so-called Jews, Edomites. The announcement came Tuesday afternoon amidst a downpour of outrage and backlash towards the Wildin' Out star after he made very controversial claims on his podcast that many consider deeply troubling and downright hateful. So what's going to happen? They're going to blacklist this guy, Nick Cannon, if he refuses to apologize. Because at this moment, he refuses to apologize. Now, if he continue to do so, they're going to break him down. They're going to snatch away whatever endorsements. They're going to, they're going to freeze his accounts and everything like that because they have the power to do so, The announcement came Tuesday afternoon amidst a downpour of outrage and backlash towards the Wildin' Out star after he made very controversial claims on his podcast that many consider deeply troubling and downright hateful. Turns out Viacom agreed. They severed ties on Tuesday, stating Viacom CBS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism, right? But that goes to show, the hypocrites of these devils, they just don't want the truth of the matter being revealed. He said nothing wrong, and it's the truth. The truth hurts. That's why this truth is killing this devil. beginning with beginning with the prophets, beginning with our apostles and the elders, a great millstone, present day, however it stems back from, their elders, King Masha, Elder Abba Bivens, High Priest Ariyah, High Priest Yaikwab, so on and so forth. The truth started, all the way back then up until present day, and it's destroying these devils. It's destroying them. Now it's to the point to where these celebrities and entertainers is coming out, with some truth, knowing the fact that they're Israelites, so on and so forth. It says we have spoken with Nick Cannon about an episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class, on YouTube, which promoted hateful speech and spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. While we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him. But they can continuously have Jake, so-called Negroes being killed out in the streets with no justice, right? The hypocrisy of these devils. In the same podcast in which Nick suggested white people were a little less than darker skinned people. But the Lord said that. Matter of fact, the Lord said that, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 7:6 real quick. The Lord put us above you devils, man. And when you go back into the Genesis, Cain was marked with leprosy because of the wicked act of killing Abel, and then he was born in his reincarnation as Esau, being a clean leprous, But Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6, it says, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." And part of that is what? The melanin that we have as Israelites. We're above you Edomites, man. You're lesser than. The scriptures say that. In the prophecy, one nation shall be stronger than the other. The elder's going to serve the younger. Should be separated from thy bowels. The Bible teaches that you Edomites are lesser than, right? It says in the same podcast in which Nick suggested white people were a little less than darker skinned people, he also stated you can't be anti-Shemitic when we are the Shemitic people, saying what? That we are Israelites, right? He went on when we are the same people who they want to be. That's our birthright. We are the true Hebrews, you see? So he's coming out with it. Cannon issued his own non-apology on Monday, stating, "Anyone who knows me knows that I have no hate in my heart nor malice intentions. I do not condone hate speech nor the spread of hateful rhetoric." He then invited people to step up and go toe-to-toe. "I encourage more healthy dialogue and welcome any experts, clergy, or spokespersons to any of my platforms to hold me accountable and correct me in any statement that I've made that has been projected as negative." Viacom is the parent company of MTV, home to Cannon's Wildin' Out gig, and also home to Nickelodeon, where Cannon got his start in the 90s. Nick Cannon's under fire for comments he made about melanin, white people, and why they became savages long ago. And some are even calling him a black supremacist. The Masked Singer host has been recently accused of spewing anti-Semitism on his podcast, Cannon Class, but now is this brief clip from his June 30th episode with Professor Griff, formerly a Public Enemy, that has people riled up. Now, you brothers could read the rest of this, article if you like. Now this could be one or two things. It could be controlled opposition from Edomites, from the lease of Edom, causing him to say these things, for situations to happen. Or it could just be a test of Nick Cannon's, position and faith, so to speak. We're going to see how the chips may fall. But, one scripture I just want to bring out, close it out real quick. I'm pretty sure if the Lord's willing, other brothers going to do lessons on it. This article came out about a couple hours ago. So, it's pretty much hot off the press. But this is the book of Psalm, chapter 94, verse 16. "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? The elect of the nation of Israel." It says, "Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelled in silence." So the Lord got to be, with you in order for you to even speak the truth. In order for you to speak the truth against these devils and these Edomites. Now, if nothing happens to Nick Cannon, it could be two things, right? The Lord's having mercy on Nick Cannon, right? Because you do also have men of reputation, who believed on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and Nick Cannon could be a man of reputation. Now, if nothing happens to him, it could be one of two things. He could be of the hopeful elect, or he's just bought and paid off by these so-called Jews, and he was set up to make these statements, right? But it says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. And in the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? Because that's how they're justified in their actions, Here it is, they say the Constitution, the so-called Negroes, 3/5 of a man. And primarily, the Constitution wasn't created for us. So what? A lot of times these devils are able to get away with putting Jake to death in these streets, man. It says they gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Why? Because we speak the truth. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is the rock of my refuge, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord, our power, shall cut them off. So here it is. Look, man. That's why, a lot of heat's coming down on him, And here it is. It wasn't like his, show was on, like when he made the statement, it was on national TV. It was on his podcast on YouTube. We are on YouTube. The men of great millstone, the prophets, the true prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and men teaching in the same like manner. We're on YouTube just like Nick Cannon was on YouTube. But guess what? He had those he had those gifts. He's a multi-millionaire. He got those gifts. He's on Wild 'N Out, MTV. So what? Now these devils are coming down upon him. Now they're coming, they're stripping him of his TV network connection. Here it is, we go through what we go through, but they can't take nothing away from us because why? They haven't given anything to us. Everything given to us was through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. However, his things was given essentially from the Lord, but, Esau signed his checks, the so-called white man. So, we're going to see how the situation pretty much plays out, but regardless, the Lord is controlling both sides, The Lord is controlling both sides. So what? He's drawing more light upon the Hebrew Israelite name and the truth of the matter, So Lord willing, Akim was edified. Till next time, Shalom.